I want you to know is that when I was trying to describe, so I was talking to my wife, and I said, "Hey, I was listening to these podcasts," and she's like, "Well, what do you guys talk about, or what were they talking about?" I was like, it's kind of all over the map. Well, she's like, "What are you going to be able to do?" I was like, "Are you kidding?" I was like, "If this was me, this is me in a podcast form." Like, if you want to talk about, I can tell you about pro wrestling. I can tell you about the '80s. If you want to talk about early '90s bodybuilding. I mean, this is what I'm here for. Now, if it's strength accolades, I've got none. So we can fill air with whatever you want.
See, you're like our perfect guest.
Yeah, I was like, you might as well be the fourth chair. I mean, you just described pretty much all we talk about.
Yeah, you can take Batman's seat.
Yeah. I mean, I can stand. I'll just sit in the semi-squat in the corner.
Just peeking over the back of one of the chairs.
Yeah.
We're live.
Iron Palace Podcast.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Iron Palace Podcast, the world's most anabolic podcast that is coming to you from... Dave, what are you doing?
Mind your own dang business, dog. I had a little dust in my hinge. That'll slow you down. You'll chafe if you don't get rid of that.
You can't have dusty hinges.
Yeah. That's a gateway to chafe. Chafe Town, dog.
Okay. Pretty sure they make medicine for that, but that's fine.
Medicine for a lot of stuff, but I don't trust Big Pharma.
All right. Well, before this gets too far out of hand.
Okay, so most anabolic, right?
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I mean, that's just a fact.
Yeah. What's up, Dave?
That's got to get
to finish that thought.
I lost my train of thought whenever I didn't know what he was doing.
I was really wanting
to me to know what I was doing?
I was really wanting to know the second part of that statement, but
I don't know. That doesn't like dust in our hinge.
Okay, I like it.
I'll dust your hinge.
Ooh.
Let's just go into the guest introduction.
Okay.
Let's get this show on the road. All right, hit it, Alan. The man that's name will echo through the halls of eternity after hosting some of the greatest competitions to grace this earth. As the trophy husband of the South, he only coaches athletes to be winners and record breakers. Say it with me now. Hold me closer, Willie Danzer.
That was pretty good.
Told you.
Yeah.
Gold.
Me and Holly start getting scorecards we can pull out after every intro.
I thought it wasn't bad. What do you think?
No, that's pretty good, man. I appreciate it.
I like Willie was talking about his accolades. He was like, yeah, got a face.
Yeah. Wakes up every morning. Yeah.
Hard to squeeze an epic intro out of that.
That was my one good thing for the episode. The rest of it is on the other people here.
We're screwed.
All right. Well, we're going to episode 2 of the book. It's not a sponsor. We don't need to go over it again.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
So this time, last week we tried level 8. Let's try level 1.
All right.
I somehow feel there's going to be no difference. Would you rather take a private tour of a space shuttle or a submarine? That was lame. Space shuttle.
Well, I mean, recent submarine.
Pretty dope. And are we assuming they are like the space shuttle's in space and the submarine's underwater, or is it just like sitting at a dock somewhere?
Oh yeah, because that
or
makes
is it like in a museum?
I'll agree with that. Which would you prefer?
You ever been in a submarine?
Yes.
Not under my own free will.
Oh yeah, I would go spaceship for sure. Submarine requires way too much hip mobility. I could barely get my leg up.
I agree. I went in one. I mean, it was landside, obviously, but there's no way. I was shorter then too. I still didn't like it.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
I don't know, man. Submarines are for sneaky Germans. I don't trust it.
Richard Gass worked on one at work.
I know that, and I don't know how.
He's
what
like
a
6'6".
name.
Yeah, he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's broader than me, and I don't know how he worked on a submarine.
You mean to tell me Dick Gass worked on submarines?
Yes.
Sure enough, buddy.
Golly.
By God.
Well,
More you know,
Hot dog.
you didn't know that either, did you, Willie?
I did not. No. This has been the most informative podcast I've been on ever.
Just you wait till we get to the anatomy section.
Oh
Yeah.
God damn.
We've got pictures, dolls.
Holland.
All right. Well, to go back to the introduction part of this, you do host one of the greatest. Everybody that has been to this strongman competition has nothing but great news to say about it. I've yet to go, which really irritates me. But shut up, Holland.
I mean, there's been, what, 7?
Yeah, we've done 7.
7 Holiday Highlanders.
And you haven't made it to one of them.
For one, I've only known about it for like 2 years. So I've only actually missed 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's so I will tell you that, like, if you Helen can attest to this, this past year's was the coldest day ever recorded in history.
So cold.
It was cold to the point where if it wasn't my show, I would have left. Like I mean, it was bordering my line of commitment to be there. But yeah, we've done it for 7 years. You know, it's pretty much my wife does most of the admin stuff. She doesn't let me actually get on social media anymore outside of just my own account because I don't know how to write and I don't use punctuation and I'm offensive. So turns out that's pretty, like, there's not a lot of charities that line up with that.
All I know is you are fitting really well on this podcast right now.
Yeah. So, but it's been a great ride. I said we would do it until 10. Apparently we're doing it till 12 because we got a plaque made that had 12 pictures. So she really wants to fill those out. So that's how we're going to make history. But yeah, it's all for charity. It's unsanctioned, and every year there is a for the 6 of the 7 years, everyone has a dog that's associated with one of our a vet that we pick, and they get to name the dog in honor of themselves or in honor of someone that may have lost their life to either suicide or in the line of duty. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot like other people's strongman shows, except we try not to have ours suck and take really long.
Yeah.
Think you're
it's
on
a
something
model. Yeah, it's a model we're working on. Honestly, like I looked at it from the standpoint of what are the things that I don't like about going to events, and then I just try to couple as many of those things and put it in an actual event. Like, well, I don't like standing around. I don't like the 175 people having to do the same event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think people think that's entertaining. So, we do it round robin style and we try to get people out of there as quick as humanly possible. Because there's things that they would rather be doing. Turns out it's strongman. Again, strongman is perfect if you're either really, really like dumb or you just hate your bone structure. But like, if you care, like, it's not something you don't want to stand outside in December. And then 2 is like, you don't want to stand outside in December for 6 hours. Like, it's just not a good time. And I understand that I'm doing a hell of a job, like, selling Holiday Highlander 8 right now.
I can't wait.
Like, it hasn't rained fire yet. But that's kind of, where we're at and what we're trying to do with it. And then we just try to make it as honestly as fun as we can for the people that are there.
Which, I think that's the best way to run it.
Yeah.
I think it shows. You've done 7 and it's only getting bigger. So yeah. I think you're doing a phenomenal job.
How many athletes were at this last one?
We usually, it's really hard. And like, honestly, Holland, I remember that day for me is like pretty much a blur.
Oh,
like,
Sure.
I remember you saying something about the podcast and then saying something about gorillas. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like I'm in. And usually, like, we have about between 100 and 125 people will sign up, and then we deal with drops every year.
Yeah.
So I think this year we did 80 or 90 people showed up between the Highland Games and the strongman portion.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's not counting the there's a run too.
Yeah, so we 2 or 3 years ago we partnered with the Special Forces Chapter 100 because they used to do a jingle jog. Apparently, people run
on purpose.
And,
gross.
Yeah, on purpose.
I didn't understand any of what they were saying. Especially again in the military, I just assumed people understood the velocity of bullets. But they we're doing something on the same day. So we were basically tapping into not the exact same market, but we were basically competing for fans and stuff like that. So we partnered with them, and they run about between, depending on the weather, like this year, not nearly as many, but last year I think they had like 500 or 600 people.
Yeah.
So on top of what we do, they do about between 300 and 500 people will do a 5K or a 10K at the exact same location.
There's that many people that want to do a 5K?
It's amazing. Yeah.
What are they chasing?
What's chasing them?
I think it's longevity of life or something. I don't know. Yeah, real stupid.
Why?
We're here
Give
for
them
a
some
good
Frederick
time.
Nietzsche to read.
Here for
Straighten
a
them right
not
up.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then like there's been people that have talked about wanting to do both. They'll want to run and then they're like, oh, can I do the Highlander? And it's like, probably not. Just like I don't know. It just seems like it's like I don't actively seek out like losing money. So it's like if you get hurt, that's like I mean you can sue. I don't have anything, so if you want half of nothing, but it and we've been able to partner with those guys, and then like you said, they handle all of that business, and then most of their people are like they'll either come and hang out, but that thing is super efficient too. I mean, they're usually done by like 9:30 or 10. So we just kind of stagger the start a little bit. And it usually makes it for most of the day. There's something going on.
Yeah, it's the location is cool. Like Dirtbag Ales is like the best place to do that kind of thing, anyways.
Yeah. So for the first 2 years, we actually did it out of a gym, and it was fine. And then we just randomly were like, oh, I wonder about Dirtbag, and then like we went out there, and like the problem is they're getting so goddamn popular. It's like they keep building stuff, so they just like their popularity is kind of getting to where the field size. But yeah, I mean, being able to sit down and do it in a parking lot that's in between a brewery and a whiskey bar, um, makes it, I think, a really cool atmosphere. And I think it's again, we would never sanction it. I just think when you start dealing with the actual corporations that are in strongman, it's not something I want to do. I don't want to have specific weight classes. I'm not paying you money so I can run a show that you're going to give someone some bullshit pro card, to have them never go anywhere. So I also have a real problem just like I'm going to give you money so I can work for you. Seems just like a really stupid business model.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's been, it allows us to create a freedom. And then I don't have to worry about we're never concerned with like the events that are going on. Like, last year was in Strongman was like super big, like the throwing bags. Like we're not doing that. Like I look at things and I'll go back in, I will go back and I'll watch like old World's Strongest Man. I'll say like, oh, what was cool back in the 70s? Let's see if we can revamp something like that. So that's where we get a lot of our stuff. And it's like, as I sit down with a couple different guys and we come up with ideas, it's literally the guy that does all my logos is a tattoo artist. He's a strong man, and he just comes up with these like, he's like, hey, what do you about this? And it's like, shit, yeah, man. If we got equipment and we can make it kind of logistically happen and almost safe, like I'm in.
Yeah.
Almost safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Frank lost a fucking toe.
Frank. Yeah. R.I.P. Frank's toe.
Yeah, God, it was gross.
Yeah, it was.
It was terrible. I feel bad. Like, there's a lot of other people I wish it would have happened to, not Frank.
Yeah, I know. Frank's too good of a guy. Lose his toe like that.
Yeah, he just have us come up and do his toe. But then again, he came back and won this year, so it all worked itself out. Now he's got the belt.
Yeah.
So.
The Fennel Fingers was awesome this year.
Yeah.
That was cool. I was surprised how compact the apparatus was, really. Like I was.
Yeah, so like a lot of our stuff is what we usually look at in there. Yeah, no, I get it, dude.
I was about to say nothing. You were just going to let that go.
I was trying to hold it in. I was compact the
lobbing,
apparatus.
dude,
I was like, I'm not even going to look towards David.
Yeah, just lobbing up softballs.
Maybe.
Whoa.
It was because it was cold outside. It would have grew.
He's shy.
But it was, I mean, we try to do something like if we're going to invest in something. So Clint, the guy that did the Posifel and makes a lot of the other stuff we use, he's kind of segued into doing a little bit different venture. So we had him make that for us. That was like the last big thing. But I like to have something that's like you're not going to see everywhere. but also I want to have it as close to like an even playing field as possible. So like when we came up with the brick lift, like again, unless you were going to go out and buy bricks, like it was going to be incredibly even across the board.
Yeah. And I thought what was cool about that is it was a cool lift. It was a cool like problem to solve, and it didn't take much. You know, it didn't take much space. It didn't take much. You know, I was like, that was a cool idea. You know.
Yeah, it really looked at it was like, man, like, you know, because like if you've been to the event and you know, it's always like no matter how hard we try, we're trying to figure out a way to get in the people that don't know that we're actually out there. So we're trying to build it into the crowd, and then just having that table there, I think helped us get out into the crowd a little bit more, to make it a little bit more engaging. So it's just not like, whoa, what are these assholes over here throwing rocks? It's like, yeah, like kind of, but like we're athletes, sort of. You know, like at least we pay an entry fee, like it means something.
Yeah.
You know,
I paid to call myself an athlete.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like going to the Highland Games, and you know you pulling up, and they're like, you know, getting ready to direct you to the athlete park, and they're like, athlete. I'm like, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. Why don't we just
Sexually.
go with punctual? Yeah,
That was
I'm
like
just early.
the first Highland game I went to. I rolled up and they said, "Are you an athlete?" I was like, "I signed up."
Yeah,
Okay,
for all you know, yes.
Yeah.
My invitation to World Masters this year cost me almost $700.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. I mean, and when
you're an expensive athlete.
I got invited, and it cost me.
They're like, we cordially invite you to pay us $700.
That sounds like a pyramid scheme.
That's counting
Alan.
travel and hotels.
Well, okay, yeah. Well,
Did they
still,
tell you to bring 3 of your friends and then you would get your money back?
Yeah, you actually. The opening ceremonies was just a timeshare plan.
It was Tony Robbins.
Well, now that we got you here,
It's not a pyramid, guys. It's a triangle, okay?
yeah. But yeah, then we segued off of, you know, being able to kind of do the Highlander, and now we ventured out. We do the tattoo thing, which we're trying to get going. So we'll see how that one goes. That's our second, but like we'll never run a game for profit. It's always just us giving back. So it keeps it a lot. It's a pretty low pressure atmosphere, and you know, for what I tell people all the time, like it's charity. Like, you know, like I love Holland, but I mean Holland signed up twice. Like I'm not giving them a refund. Like, I'll give you tickets. You can have raffle tickets, but I mean, you're not like I'm not. There's certain things, and I think that when you go into it and you're charging people absurd amount of money, where those people know that the money is only going to your pocket, you have such a small margin of error for just what could happen. You know, and that's something I don't want to run that risk, especially being an outside show. Like as soon as the first year that it rains, like it's gonna be just the amount of bitching is gonna be insane.
Oh,
You know, so it's like, dude, it's fucking like, all right, you don't have to come. I prefer you didn't come, actually. If you just want to give me money,
yeah.
like, those are my favorite customers. You know, if it was like 4 dudes that showed up, I'd be like, this is the greatest Highland Games ever. Man, we're done in 10 minutes.
You don't even have to compete. First, second, third, fourth. All right. Rock, paper, scissors.
You got the same policy as a hooker.
Yeah.
Prefer if you didn't, but
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it makes it I love being able to have as much creativity and not having to answer to anyone.
Which I also like. That's whenever Holland told us about your Highlander last year, and he was telling us about how it's not sanctioned. That actually is why we're looking at doing our own unsanctioned meets. Like our stone lifting we're going to run is going to be, I mean, obviously there's not really a sanctioned stone lifting, but even if there was.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
But for the same thing, is like, that's what we talked about was almost like once you hit that sanctioned meet, I feel like strongman becomes 2 different sports.
Yeah.
Because once it's sanctioned, you've got certain lifts, certain weight classes. It's very rigid, but original strongman is very creative, like what you're running. And so I feel like they're just 2 different things entirely.
Well, it's also, to me, it's a very hard, like I volunteered at a show this past weekend or last couple of weeks, and it was like, you know, it was primarily a novice division show, but it's like, you know, these people are paying all of this money and they're not doing anything right, but there's nobody telling them that this isn't right. And it's like, well, and every asshole there, 50% of the people are competing, and then the other 50% of the people are coaches now. So it's like, and then but to me, it's like, well, what is the premise of what you're doing? Like, our goal has always been, we're going to be a grassroots feeder system show that people can come out and have a good time. Like, our weights aren't going to ever be absurdly heavy, because I don't want to turn down the average person, because that's, especially on the female side, that's one thing I think, to our credit, we've been able to do really, really well, is we've been able to go out and recruit people from the community, that just casually, like, oh, what do you do here? Oh, we're doing this. Oh, okay, cool, I'd love to give that a shot. And then they're invested, and then what they choose to do at that point, if they want to go down the level of going into sanctioned meets, that's fantastic.
Mhm.
But I only care about growing the sport from the basic level,
Mhm.
of making sure that strength sports is an outlet if people want to use it as such.
I agree. I think you're doing phenomenal. Also, I like the aspect of, if someone questions your judging or questions their scores, it's like, it's cool. You can question if you want, but like,
Yeah, fuck you, it's charity, guy.
yeah.
It's like, I'm not recording these anywhere, anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
My
First off, I had to put it into NASGA. I had to put Highland Games NASGA 3 times, because that thing's fucking archaic. Yeah, the strongman, after that day, it just goes in the fucking recycle bin.
Yep.
Yeah, my favorite like pre competition speech. You were talking. It was the Highland Games thing, and you're like, listen, these scores aren't going anywhere. Don't make a big deal out of this. If you think one of the judges or whatever has something wrong, come tell me, and I'll send you home.
It's just to me, it's to me as if they're volunteering their time. It's like, again, just the audacity of people. It's like, again, we put all the information out there. And it's not really Highland Games, because you're going to do the same thing at every Highland Games. At that point, like, you're dumb if you can't figure that out. But it's just like, well, I have this. What about whatever such and such? What about this rule? Like, nobody gives a shit, man. Like, it's December. If you peaked all year for the holiday Highlanders, you're not doing it right. Somehow you missed the boat on a real contest, my man. Like,
It's an odd time to peak too. That's like, everyone else is in off season. You're like, I'm ready. All year.
Sneak up on them. Got them.
They ain't even ready.
Yeah, the score Nazis at a small event can really be a turd in the punch bowl. As an outsider, like it just like it brings down the whole thing. Like, I'm not into that crap at all. Like, I just know these guys, and the couple I've seen, like, there's a few people just like, dude, why? Like, just move on, bro. Like, it's
And I even tell people now, like, I'll come volunteer at your show, but if you want me to lift heavy stuff, I'm not going to try hard. Like, I'm telling you right out of the gates, like, you're going to know what you're getting. Now, if you want me to judge, I'll put more effort in. But it's like, oh, you got heavy shit? I ain't trying. I ain't getting hurt for you.
Which also, from an athlete standpoint, I can appreciate the wanting to get this over quickly attitude, because I agree. One thing I dislike the most, and as much as I love powerlifting, it is one thing I dislike the most, is just waiting.
It takes so long.
Forever.
It's just, the only thing that really at this point in my life that upsets me is that Pantera's catalog wasn't more expansive to make it a full powerlifting meet. Like, that's the hard part for me. It's like, oh man, walk again, awesome. Like,
Yep.
But yeah, it's always like the fact of, it's like, well, should we break for lunch? And then you look across the horizon of everybody that's at your strongman show or your Highland Games, they're all morbidly obese. We're good. Like, we can push on, man. Like,
be all right.
We can skip lunch.
We got 2 more hours in us. Like,
They brought the extra calories with them. They packed smart.
Like, oh man, I hate for it if we had to take off super in front of obese for the crowd. Like, that'd be tough. Like,
because I also don't like breaking for lunch, primarily because I do better if we just keep her rolling.
Yeah.
The minute I got to stop, like, well, the Smoky Mountain a few years ago, in the middle of Sheaf, like, there was 3 of us at 30 feet. And they broke for lunch because they were also doing some stuff on the field. We had to get off the field.
Probably
and
sheepdogs.
Yeah, I think it was. And so then we come back after lunch, after the sheepdog and everything, and they're like, all right, so the 3 of you are throwing at 30. I was like, F you, bro. I've done 8. I've sat around for 45 minutes, and now you want me to go straight into throwing sheaf again?
At 30 feet.
Yeah, 30 feet.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like, you have lunch, and I tell everyone, like, I promise you, if we haven't done caber and we have lunch and I'm gonna do caber, I'm gonna start doing a lot of walking farts. Like I don't know what it is. I get nervous, and you're not gonna smell them until it's too late because a lot of times they're cooped up in neoprene. But as soon as that seal breaks a little bit, there's like 7 farts sitting in there. Like I'm sorry, man, but like, or I'm gonna need someone to be bigger than me around me so that people are just gonna assume it's the fattest guy in the circle. So
Fair enough.
that's for you, dude.
People don't realize how much caber loosens the sphincter.
You get down there and you're just like, it's just like, and like, oh shit, like,
Yep.
oh, man,
Who's whistling?
I will say, caber will loosen and tighten your sphincter the fastest ever.
Yeah.
At the same time.
By the time
it's-
Caleb's
it's-
done, his butthole looks like the old Warheads guy on the candy.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's just putting lunch in just because you want to extend a day. And my biggest complaint, outside of just everything else that I've talked about at this point, is people like the athletic director's disregard for the people that are there to be your entertainment. Like, stop just abusing their time because you need to extend a day because you made a promise. Like, figure out a way to do your job better so that you can put on a better game. Like, that should be the ultimate evolution of all of this.
Yep.
It's not, oh, well, we got to be out here till 4. And then it's always like, well, can we warm up? Nah, fuck your knees. Well, it rained. I don't care. Like, it's like, oh, well, what if
Yep.
we move the train? Now we ain't got that kind of time. We're going to have 7 hours for lunch, and then we're bringing out ducks. And it's like, what the fuck, when did this happen?
Whose ducks are these?
Yeah. Like, but, those are just some of my random gripes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I agree. Especially like if I think of, because I haven't actually just watched a Highland game in a long time, but just from my part of, okay, we got to extend the day out. We've got to make this last till 4. So all that means to me is they're going to watch us walk around a lot.
Yeah.
Like, now they're going to watch us walk slowly to the other side of the field, then walk slowly back to this other side of the field.
Yeah.
And it's not like any of us are in a hurry because we've got like 15 minutes between events every time. It's not like, and all the spectators are like, these are supposed to be athletes.
Yeah, but then it's like you go up to someone, you're like, oh man, hey, we got to fill time. Can I take extras? And they're like, oh, like, all right, well, or like we could, heaven forbid we do something that would be my enjoyment, like, oh, I'm close to breaking a PR. No, oh, go sit down for 20 minutes. All right, I'll go fuck myself. I'll see you guys. Like,
Yeah, we don't have time for your extra throws, but we can break for lunch early.
yeah, and we're gonna stay twice as long. So that is that. Yeah. Oh, and it's not provided.
Yeah.
Or you get a meal ticket and have to go stand in line for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool though. They let you go around to the back of the food truck. God, I don't even know how the other half lives at those things.
I only eat food trucks in the back.
Yeah,
Oh.
you should, girl. No, I get it, dude. I get it. Some people say that's inappropriate. I don't think so.
No.
I think it's the right amount of appropriate.
I've prayed about it. It's okay.
Yeah, good for you.
So, all that being said, though, I have heard that you're going to be running a USAWA meet, and I'm very curious how this is going to go.
So, all right. So what happened is
All good stories start with that.
Yeah. So what had happened was I will give you that. So I do have a weird amount of just knowledge in my brain that man, I would be a really good strength coach if I just put more into strength and conditioning. But it's oh man, if Kenny Loggins wasn't alive, that might have been a thing. But since he made so much good music, that's where a lot of my brain goes.
Danger zone.
It's not my fault. Dude, my wife said the other night, she's like, I got to meet my daughter. Where should I meet her? And then I instantly go to the theme song from the greatest documentary of all time, Over the Top. And I was like, well, why don't you meet her halfway? And she's like, what? And then I hit the song and she's like, that's stupid. I was like, or the best fucking segue ever. I'm sorry, you own the 80s, right? Yeah, you covered every movie good, yeah.
Sorry you don't understand art.
Yeah. He also drove a semi, so it's relevant twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, so how this got started is we're gonna do this tattoo meet, and the tattoo thing started off as a bench deadlift only thing.
Mhm.
And it's again not sanctioned. We play it real fast and real loose.
It's halfway the coolest meet.
Yeah.
If you did deadlifts and anything else, it'd be cool.
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is last year we did it in front of a wrestling ring, which was pretty sweet. But they managed to take yeah. So there's an indie wrestling show that happens around the same time, but they took down all the cool shit because I was assuming they were just liability. Like you don't want people coming off the top rope.
I would absolutely have done it, and I was this close to being at that one too. I think I wound up having to work or something, but because Chad had texted me asking me if I was coming, and I was like,
yeah. He
if
got
I
in the
if
ring.
I can be there, shut up, Dave.
I say nothing, dog. Look,
I could feel.
that's between you, him, and Christ. You sort that out. It'll be all right.
Anyways, but yeah, if a ring was there, I would 100% went off the top rope.
Yeah, so Chad got in there. Also, just as a point of reference, spotting Chad benching is probably the scariest thing I've ever done.
Really?
Oh my! He just was shaking. He's like, "Let your hands go." He's like, "Get your hands off the bar." I was like, "No, like I don't know. I don't. You're gonna like. I don't want you to. One, if you die, like that's on my conscience. Two, I can't lift you to get you off. Like they do. It's like this is where Chad died. He just lives in the convention center now. It's like get everyone to lift the wrestling ring, just put it on top of him.
Just pull it over the top, scoot it.
Yeah, Chad would have wanted to go out this way.
It's funny that you say that because I actually just commented on his video yesterday saying that one of my life goals is to spot him on bench.
Nope, you don't want that is the scariest thing I've ever done. And like it was an absurd amount of weight, and like it just went down real slow, and he was shaking, and I was like. He's like, get your hands off, get your hands. Dude, I'm not. We've gone through this. Like I just did. And finally I took him off. He's like, he blew it up. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I was like, dude, spotting you. And it's just, I'm assuming he just takes nose torque to live, but the amount of nose torque he took to hit that bench, like, holy shit.
You were laying on your back with your feet on the bar to spot him.
Yeah.
Getting ready to squat the leg press at any minute.
Yeah. But going back to the bench, so we did the bench, we did the deadlift the last couple of years, but we want to do a strongman thing. And I was like, well, what is an easy logistical thing? Somehow one of the lifts from the USAWA came across my feed a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I mean, this lady is in full clothes. That's not usually on my feed, but we'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
She must be selling me something.
Yeah, I don't know. But so. And I looked at it. So then we started talking about it. I'm like, well, what if we just do a bench press variation and a deadlift variation at this meet? Because we're going to do that's like a team strongman thing. I'm going to, you guys should probably come to it. I've already invited Holland. I just have the 3 dots of him just still contemplating coming to this strongman thing.
At least you got that. He didn't even tell me he was invited.
Yeah.
He called me and talked about it.
I'm half of his 2-man deadlift team, and I didn't know about it.
Yeah, well, this could be one hell of the beginnings of a team.
You didn't tell him yet?
No. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I don't know the first thing about like where to find any of this stuff. So I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I know Holland does. I was like, and it's like 8 millimeter. It's like the strength, different weird strength levels, like how they have porn. It's just like the different strength levels you go down. So it's like, hey, now we're getting kind of weird. Holland probably knows. Also with porn.
Yeah, I was about to say, it checks out both ways.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I've had a similar thought process before.
Yeah. So
Not strength related.
I've heard he checks out both ways.
And then, so I was like, Holland, and he's like, well, actually, yeah. And then he just sent me the rule book. So I'm like reading through it. I was like, do you know anyone you can put me in contact with? So he put me in contact with a guy, and so that's basically kind of what we're going to do at this next show. Is it's going to be the Hackenschmidt lift, and I think we're going to do it. And I think we're going to do a Jefferson deadlift.
That's dope.
And I was just like, and I started talking to the guy. He's like, well, if you really want to sanction this, and I was like, yeah, man. But it's like, and I just kept telling him, he's a super nice guy. Yeah. He actually gave me one of the best compliments I've ever been given in my life. He's like, oh, like he's like you. I was like, I'm looking at your Instagram feed. He's like, you got a pretty thick neck on you. And I was like, yeah, sir. That's one of the greatest things anyone's ever told me.
He told Caleb he had a skinny back.
Yeah.
In my own house.
Oh, man.
Sitting in this chair.
With his feet dangling.
Feet 2 inches off the floor and had the audacity.
But I was like, well, you're about this close to me and you just sharing an apartment. And
I got this fun new 2-man sleeping bag. You want to check it out?
Wait till you see Clint's home gym, and then you'll really want to share an apartment. His home gym is
it's dope. It's awesome.
It is so
Yeah.
nice.
He'll just bring out stuff at random, like anvils and crap. It was like, oh, hey, let's look at
Almost
this up.
every implement that you need in the USAWA, Clint has at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, if you really want to sanction this, I was like, hey, it's kind of a proof of concept, but I was like, yeah, this is kind of where we're looking to go, and then eventually, like I think for the ease of this, I think it's a great segue for people that like to do odd lifting to just again, let's give them another platform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's such a relatively cool idea, so hopefully that'll attract some people that'll do some strongman. Whether it to me it's not a logistical lift for us. It doesn't take much more than the equipment we're already bringing, and it should be a streamlined show. So like that fits the three big criteria we're looking for. And like a little curious, super interested in doing it. He also was like, oh yeah, he's like, I was telling her her deadlift record. And he's like, oh, like she must not be very tall. And I was like, well, yeah, she's real short. But I was like, dude, like, I mean, she's like, I don't know if have you ever seen like a muscle hamster? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
that's what we were talking about on the show. We're like, let's recreate the same range of motion and see how many guys are going to lift that.
I really wish I had named that episode Muscle Hamster now.
Yes.
That's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, she looks like, I mean, so I told her, I was like, from the front, because of like how big her, and then this Clint guy, he's like, yeah, I'm watching her videos. Like, she got some pretty good sized traps on her. I'm like, I've told her that. I don't know if she'd take that as a compliment, but I'm gonna relay the information. Like, if she's half as excited as I was to hear that I have a thick neck, like I think she's gonna be pretty jazzed up about it.
Yeah. Pretty jazzed up.
Like, so we're gonna run with those, and then after that, we'll see. But I think it's a cool idea. I think it's I would love to have it be a thing where some of that stuff could show up at the Holiday Highlander. I think that anytime that you can give my ultimate goal is if I had like if it wasn't out if everything lined up for us, it would be almost kind of like a festival atmosphere where there's a bunch of different sports you could go to and you could see a little bit of everything and everyone gets kind of their time to shine. But I'm super jazzed up. Like, I mean, I might be able to set like a, because I told him, I was like, he's like, if you can pretty much like think of a lift, like there's probably a record for it. And I was like, you got to remember, I have a really good imagination and really shitty genetics. So, like, yeah, like, I can think of tons of stuff. I just ain't good enough to do any of it. Like,
I will say that's one of my favorite things about the USAWA is because it has all these records and they're attainable for the average to slightly above average strongman.
Yeah.
Rather than it being now, like just strongman in general, like as a professional sport, has gotten insane. So like all these records are very unachievable for almost anyone that's not up there. So the USAWA definitely does open that up for those people.
And I like that they do just specific record breaker competition. Like they don't have to have a full on competition. They can just do a record breaker day. And you pick whatever records you want to break and you can,
Yeah, and I just think it's again like let's do stuff that again it levels the playing field. Like we put it out there. If people really want to go, I dare you to go to a commercial gym and just lay on your back and roll a bar over your face and start pressing it on the floor, and assume that you're not going to get kicked out. Like best of luck to you.
I tried to not break a record and couldn't do it at the USAWA. Like they're really good at that shit.
We all everybody on the podcast owns at least one record.
We all have a Saxon deadlift.
Yeah, we all have the Saxon deadlift record.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so did you just be the four people that did it? Like,
there were more. They just weren't there that day.
Like that's my favorite is when you get like is somehow like you get the gift of like the figure 8 straps and they're the ones that are like 7 meters long at each loop. And you're like, what's this for? The Saxon bar. Who owns one? Where am I going to use this?
Yeah, who owns one?
Oh,
do you have one?
I have one.
Nah, God, you would. You fucking would.
It's way more manly than just having it. He made it.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Oh, yeah. You were talking about farrieing last episode too, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my top 3 things I look at on Instagram.
Oh, really?
I don't want to know the other two.
That's how I tore my bicep.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. No, that sucks, dude. I also don't know anything about it. I'm just fascinated by it.
His videos are behind a paywall.
That is me with like 1,000 things. I know nothing about it, but it's very entertaining for me to watch.
Yeah. I'm also super big into animal chiropractic.
Yeah.
You ever feel what dude puts dogs in half Nelsons. It's fucking amazing.
I like watching them do it to old ladies. Dude, it's wild, bro. especially on the independent film websites. But on like TikTok and stuff, it's still just as satisfying.
Yeah. I watched the guy do a boa constrictor.
What?
Yeah. Just fucking just kind of.
What did he do? Just grab it by its head and whip it like a sheet?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, one, the fact that this guy gets that close to animals, and they're like, yeah, so just give it. Like, one, how the fuck do you know? Like, oh, my lion's got a crink in its neck.
He ain't been sleeping with a shit this week. He's
I've
been real
always wondered
grumpy.
that.
Man, I woke up. I didn't have my bamboo pillow. Like, oh man.
Yeah, because like, if I go to the chiropractor, I've got to like lay it out. Okay, this hurts, but here, not here.
Yeah.
Only when I do this. But like, no way a horse is doing that. But yet they know exactly what fifth vertebrae down.
Yeah,
Got a chink in it right there.
You're going to punch it twice and go on my pillow.
Yeah, all he does is just basically master lock challenge every animal. Just gets up behind it full Nelson. He's got. I'll send you guys one. He does one with a fucking. He's like Graston, a guinea pig, and then you just hear it yell. I assume it died. I don't know.
Guinea pig.
Yeah,
I will say that's one of my like Dave's version of he thinks he can land an airplane.
Oh, totally.
I fully believe that I could win the Master Lock Challenge. No, I have no reason to think I can, but I really think I could make it.
like especially now. I mean, he's real small now. You have much.
Okay, that's true. I'm going to say prime Master Lock Challenge.
That'd be tough, man.
I remember watching it like in middle school and high school, watching him do that, thinking, dude, I dare him. I dare him walk up on me one day.
First Masters is ever in a dark alley. I welcome the Master Lock Challenge.
All he's going to see is on the other end of the dark alley is me going,
Yeah, do it. You won't do it.
bet, bro.
Yeah, old you would. Knew you was a pussy.
No balls.
You're just mad because you lost to Sergeant Slaughter, dog. Bring it.
Yeah. We're downhill after you let Cena out. But yeah, so that's about all that my Instagram really contains. I wish it was like cool shit, but it's like, dude, oh man, this guy's just like, oh, this horse has a problem. Better fix its shoe. I'm like, oh, I'm interested for the next up to probably 11 minutes. Yeah, let's go.
You ever watch giraffes fight?
Dude,
Yeah,
that's great.
That's also
That's
great.
fantastic.
That's scary. Yeah, those are killing machines right there.
It's insane. You know, watch
I
giraffes
can
fight?
honestly say
you never.
no, but in my head, all I picture is them swinging their head like a ball and chain.
yeah.
That's how.
Yeah,
it is.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's a video on YouTube of these two fighting, and one of them will catch it in the chest with its horn, and the other one just collapses. Like they just whip their heads into each other's chest.
Dude, like that is the
one-
giraffe
yeah,
is doing one of
collapse.
these, dude. Just like
Pretty much. They stand
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder and just whip each other with their heads, dude.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Dude, the one that dropped, just like a sack of potatoes. It's
Instantly.
just boom.
Yeah,
You know how
just
bad it would
all-
suck to throw up if you were a giraffe?
maybe that's why I'm not good
that
at fighting.
sucks
I'm not doing it
anyways.
right.
But if you got to shoot that shit like 4 meters before it hits your mouth, that sucks. How do they not waterboard themselves every time they throw up? It's got to be miserable.
Time out. What are you talking
A
about?
giraffe throwing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would assume that. Yeah, you would probably know like 4 days before it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Thursday, I'm going to throw up.
I'm gonna need some privacy after dinner later. It's on the way.
I got to go number 3, and you don't want to be there.
Yeah, you watch those things swing their heads and like those knobs.
See how slick his nose.
Yeah, those are fucking killing machines. Also, same exact concept.
Yeah.
He also aims for the chest.
Yeah, you hit right in the chest and down they go.
Kind of his thing.
Wow.
Also
They call
4
it the
meters.
money shot
Yeah.
in film.
Good God.
Big Scorsese guy.
Yeah. It's art.
Yeah. Abstract sometimes.
All right. Well, we'll ask. I probably would have asked this question anyways, but you specifically requested that we ask the question of what would your finishing move be if you were a wrestler, WWE wrestling?
Go to sleep. So if we're putting it on the parameters that you guys put on last week, that basically it was real and it would cause you the least amount of damage to go to sleep for sure. I want you to know this was 10 to 15 minutes of me thinking about all the different
I did the same thing because there's so many that I want to do, but I'm like, nah, like a stunner, I'm breaking my tailbone.
Yeah.
RKO,
One,
no way I'm surviving that.
Yeah, like I have real weak glutes, so I'm gonna probably get hurt. Throw my back out trying to power bomb. Like we're not gonna do it. Like
Fair enough.
You put them in a fireman's carry, you hoist them over your head, you knee him in the face. That's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just picture myself, not that I can do a backflip, but like that one time that Brock Lesnar did the backflip.
I would
Yeah.
love to see you try to back.
I want to do one so bad, dude. Like
Do it
ever
right
since
now.
ever since
For
I
the pod.
watched
That's our new. That's going to be our new
I
short
attempted
form
a
video.
backflip in the wrestling room last year.
You did?
ever since
Yeah,
I
I
watched
landed on my head.
I cannot remember his name.
So you're halfway there.
Juju Lufu?
No, there's a pro Highland game athlete, John
Doug.
Van Buren.
Oh,
Is that right? I think it's Van
Yeah.
Buren.
sounds right.
Yeah,
He's Martin Van Buren?
No.
Yep. Over yes.
Old Marty.
Anyways, he's like 6'8", 6'9". He's taller
Yeah.
than me, and he does a backflip. And I every time I see it, I'm like, how sick. Because like his slow mo videos of him hitting like a PR wob and then just immediately slow mo backflip. I'm like,
He
bro,
probably has
like,
to use the entire width of his back to get the rotation.
shut up.
I'm trying to give you pointers, dog.
Yeah,
Anyways.
he's also the largest mammal.
Oh, he's huge,
Yeah.
Huge.
huge.
Yeah.
But anyways, I always figure I'll botch something like if I try to do a backflip like Brock Lesnar and almost die. So yeah, I'm with you. I stay away from those.
Yeah, if your neck's not 24 inches around, that would be.
And it's not. It's nowhere near it. So
Yeah.
That's like a few years ago, it was a bodybuilder that he got called out, like first call outs or whatever, and as he's walking out, he's like, I'm going to do a backflip.
Not my hero.
Messes it up, dies on stage. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, did no one learn anything from the Hart brothers? Like no one remembers Owen Hart just
Too
straight
soon.
up.
Too soon.
I'm just saying, like, to me,
I mean, you got to think about it, though. Like, what are the odds of hitting a turnbuckle? Like, I mean, it's so incredibly
Okay.
low.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, 100%. But
You got
that's-
4 good shots at it.
Yeah. Turns out it only took one.
I just had a thought.
oh
Like
god,
bodybuilder is a cool title. So why are wrestlers not called body demolishers? Because that sounds way better.
I don't think you want that name.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm the body demolisher, son.
But you are.
Wrestling name.
The body demolisher.
David. Body demolisher.
It's mostly my own, but still.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
Tiny
long.
demolishing
Bangs,
my
bro.
own body.
It's like just like every time I've been held back in life, it's been by a white dude. 90% of the time it's me, but it's still true.
So,
I wouldn't
anyways,
even put the second part in.
Yeah.
I would just left it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even though like I know or like I would use someone else's move like that, it always annoys me whenever I watch like local wrestling and they've clearly just took someone else's move.
But it's also it's never as good. Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's like that's the hard part for me. So it's like, with like my mullet, right? Like everyone's like, oh man, like Garrett Blatnick has a mullet. It's like, yeah, his is really awesome. Like to me, is I'm the independent wrestling version of Garrett Blatnick, like the great value, right?
The team move
That's
version.
what that
Some
is.
would say the greatest value.
Yeah. that's what it it's like he's really good. And it's like then there's also Willie. He does stuff, and if you like take off your shoe and like squint your eyes, like, oh man, he looks athletic. Like, yeah, the vacuum. Like, I'm great.
I had a COVID mullet, and I sometimes miss it. I had the
Yeah.
straps in the side, dude. I went full Tiger King for a little while.
I was gonna do stripes in it for the Highlander, but she had to do my hair early. She's like, well, like, I was like, well, what do you think? Because I don't go in there and like, for the first 5 times I got my hair cut, I didn't talk to her, which I'm assuming is probably pretty weird for them. I'll be like,
He
hey,
just
like, hey, I
goes
want
sit in the chair.
yeah, just go sit in there, and I'm like, hey, they're like, well, what are you? They're
Started
like,
clearing his throat.
they're like, what are you thinking about? And I said, well, can you give me Patrick Swayze between Ghost and Roadhouse? Is what I said.
And that's the first thing you say to this person.
And I was like, well, the last time I did it, it didn't work out for me because I was like, I had long hair a long time ago, and I went in there. I said, I want the same haircut as Rambo 3. She's like, I've never seen that. And I was like, well, fancy that. And I pulled the DVD out of my front pocket. I said, here's the cover. Let's do it.
Keep that thing on you, son.
Yeah.
No way. Did that
I
really
swear to
happen?
God. Yeah, I swear to
Stay
God.
ready. I got to get ready.
Yeah, never. Always stay ready. And the
Fancy
thing I
that.
didn't know, the thing I didn't know is it's you have to set up haircuts. Like it's like not you just don't get it. So I had to convince. So I went in there and I was like, I'm gonna probably grow a mullet. And she's like, well, what are you thinking? And I said, that's the extent of it. That's as far as I've gotten. I said, so I need the bag to be longer than everywhere else from what I gather looking at most mullets. And she's like, well, what do you think? What do you want to do? I said, I'm not the professional. I said, send it. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. I said, I would appreciate also if we didn't talk about the weather. Like, I don't need small talk. I was like, if you want to talk about why I hate the other people in here, we can talk about that. But I was like, I'm going to come in and like, I've already gone out of my way to get to this location. So I'm already invested. Like, you don't have to keep me.
Man after my own heart. Like a haircut's a big deal.
Yeah. I just went in there. She's like, well, what do you think I should do? And you're the pro. I'm going to tell you what to do. Just send it.
I didn't tell Dale how to run Daytona. All right, just get in there and cut.
I'm just saying, if your barber hasn't set up a camera every time you come in, they're missing an opportunity.
First of all, that's weird.
She's like, well, like, where do you think we're at? And I said, I don't know. I mean, it seems okay. Like, what do you want me to tell you? And then so she got pregnant.
From the haircut?
That's a potent mullet.
I was gonna say I've heard of the power of mullets, but
I did. Well, I shook it. I just did one of these. Like, whoa! Like an Aqua Velvet commercial.
All of a sudden, she saw his aura. And you just hear motoring.
God, I wish. So she gave me one of the other girls, and this was right before the Highlander, and I was like, so I sit down in the chair, and she's already been like briefed on me because I'm assuming I'm just the weird guy. So I sit down and I say, well, how do you handle pressure? And she's like, I cave. I was like, I got something for you.
Why do you start conversations like this?
That's how I start every conversation with a barber.
How do you feel? How do you do under pressure?
Yeah. I was like, well, I don't want you to feel some kind of way about this, but next weekend is the biggest weekend of the year for me. The only time people take pictures of me. So I'm going to need you to lock it up. What do you want? And then I come with, you're the professional. And I was like, and she's like, well, what do you think? And I was like, what do you think? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, do you think this is an awesome haircut? And she's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I said, well, what would make it really good? She's like, well, we should put some lines in it. And I said, well, send it. She's like, well, I can't do that. And I said, well, I wouldn't have given me that idea then.
Now I have to have it.
Yeah. But what would be really awesome if I could dunk? Can you? No. Well,
why would you dangle that carrot?
Yeah. Nobody wants to see anyone touch the bottom of the fucking net. So then,
go to the gym for a white guy touching net competition. No, it's a dunk contest.
What are you doing swiping at a net?
Look at him go.
Scaring the rim contest.
Dude, I think we should do a white guy touching the net contest.
Yeah.
Who can touch the most of the
net? It's going to get real unathletic. Someone's going to get their fingers all jammed up.
If you dunk it, you're out. I don't want to see it here.
That's it.
Yeah, I want no chance of athleticism.
Testing. We're actually going to do a jump test before, and if you even touch one of the markers, no
instead of jumping over people, we're sliding between their legs before we jump up to the net. It's like a slip and slide.
Yeah. If I can get a sheet of paper under your feet, it's not over. Nope.
If you don't make noise when you jump, don't count.
If I see any arm swing that looks correct, out.
So I went to the girl this last week, and I was like, well, you want the good news or the bad news? And she's like, I'll take
Christ.
Yeah, she's like, I'll take the bad news. And I was like, well, it was so cold I had to wear a hat, so no one ever got any pictures of me. But just know that I think it was a pretty okay haircut. She's like, well, what was the good news? I said, I didn't have any. I just had to see where you wanted to go.
Want to keep you hopeful.
Yeah.
Hey, but the hat was epic, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen pictures. It was pretty dope.
My face and head was just pouring sweat while giving me the rest of my body just hypothermia.
And the hat was like it was like the perfect color, like it blended in with your beard. Like it was just
My favorite part was like people were like, you look mad. Like, look mad. Like, it was fucking negative 73 degrees out there. It was no look.
It was
Come here,
cold.
I feel mad too.
It was cold. There's 90 people here trying to talk to me. I'm out.
Yeah. From the eyebrows up, I was warm. Everything else was just.
Dude, it was this massive fur hat. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's only can be worn in North Carolina like twice a year. Like, we just had like all the stars aligned. But a buddy of mine deployed, and he went to Mongolia, and he's like, "I'm gonna get him this hat." And he sent me this hat, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever had." Like,
Sick.
and I'm married with kids, and I fully.
I mean, it's tough to beat anything from the Mongolians.
All right, well, for the record, to the editor, put the picture right here.
Yeah.
And for everyone that doesn't know, I'm the editor, so that's my reminder.
You can get military surplus Soviet Ushankas off of Amazon now.
I don't even know what an Ushanka is.
It's the little normal winter hat. It's got the little fur fold up on the front and the flaps down the side.
That's when I was in undergrad. That's where I only bought clothes out of the Sportsman Guide.
Yeah.
Because you get like 14 tan t-shirts for like $8.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if they're my size. One's bound to fit. It's $8.
Just mathematically, you're probably sound.
That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe we should do that for our shirts we're going to make for our competition.
One size fits most.
Yeah. We don't know what color they are, but you're going to love them.
But it's a free shirt.
We don't see color.
Amen.
Praise God.
Yeah, I got a dehydrated jerky maker off. Dude,
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That sounds like a move I pulled last weekend, dude.
Yeah, the old dehydrated jerky.
No, you want the old dehydrated jerky maker. That is one hell of a hat. That's exactly what I pictured, though, when I heard you got it from Mongolia. That is sick.
Yeah.
You will all see it, as before mentioned,
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's,
if he remembers.
This got awkward.
he's like, I was going to get you. I was going to get you the matching coat. It was pretty pricey though. I was like,
They make matching underwear?
I would have said,
man.
I will send you the money.
The hat and a pair of briefs like that? Dude,
That's
talking
all
about
you
Mr.
need.
February.
Honestly, that would be pretty dope for Highland Games.
I don't know. All I could think of when you said that was that Indian Outlaw song with the buffalo.
Yeah, baby. Beating on my tom-toms, huh?
I'm busted, McGraw.
Find me in that wigwam, baby.
Me and
It
my
had been-
buffalo briefs.
I think we had made a new record. I think it's been 2 weeks since y'all had mentioned that song.
Dude, it's the dumbest song. I love it so much.
That song comes up often.
We could ride my
As it
pony
should.
double.
Yeah. Dude, I ain't looking for trouble. We can ride my pony double.
The fact that song, someone wrote that song.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know who should sing this? Fucking Tim McGraw.
I think about that at least twice a day. It's insane. And then just in the studio, them taking it seriously. Like, I'm like, oh, this is a hit, boys. This is a killer.
See,
Did you hear the way he hit Pony Double, dude? He hit it so hard.
I was talking about it this week, and while I was like, who even writes that song? And a guy like 10 feet from me goes, I love that song. I was like, listen, no one is saying it's a terrible song.
I am.
I'm just saying, who the hell writes that?
Yeah. Dude, it's like, oh man, like, we need someone like Sue. Can we get someone that like fits his parts? Like, oh, we got a lot of guys. You won't like. It's like, oh man, I wish Tom Selleck could sing. This guy with a pencil thin mustache. He'll do. Sign him up.
You know, they were torn between giving it to him or Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, boy.
The album cover, too, of him like holding the shutter.
Oh,
Man.
If you go back to every, because I go down this rabbit hole every so often. If you go back to like every '90s country cover, it's like the exact same.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
It's like silhouette, like random, like it's like fading out into, or like, oh man, I better hold this like jug, or it's like, oh man, like should I straddle this thing with my guitar? It's like, God, man, like
That's actually
David Lee Murphy, guitar straddle.
I remember
Yeah.
my mom having all like her country CDs like and stuff, and she'd have them in the case in the Jeep, and I never knew which one was which because they all looked the same.
Yeah.
Just
Your
black
body
cover.
knew when you got to the Tim McGraw one, though. You felt it.
Yeah.
Dude, I tell you what, I won't listen to it. It's one of my like songs, but if it comes on, I skip it unless my youngest is with me because it's "Don't Take the Girl." Man,
Oh,
that is a tear jerker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll take you on a roller
I sing that to people at work all the time. I ride around a little scooter at work, and there's a guy named Tommy, and I just put his name in. I go, Tommy's daddy, on the way by. Makes my day every time. Oh, I think it makes his too.
Yeah, that is a tragic song.
You're just going around bringing sunshine.
That's
to
what I do,
people.
dog.
I would love to.
I was singing "Angel" by Shaggy to Eric every time I passed him today.
I would love to say he's lying, but honest to God, he's telling the truth.
That's another beautiful song. She was there to my incarceration. I want to show the nation my appreciation. Beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie though, the fact that you could say sing those words without messing it up is impressive.
In spite of my behavior, girl, you're my savior. You must be sent from up above. It's a banger, dude.
In spite of my dyslexia, I would never be able to say all those words back to back.
One of my I mean, dude, that's pretty impressive. I've been on a if you want to go down a pretty good genre, go down the other stuff that the Village People made. Like, holy shit, that is some fucking diamonds in the rough.
Now you're speaking Dave's language.
Dude,
Yeah,
I found a cool Osmonds record, believe it or not.
yeah.
They got
Dude,
one rock and roll record that's called Crazy Horses, and it sounds like a Deep Purple record almost. It slaps. Donnie was going through puberty. Apparently, his voice was changing, so his brothers kind of take the wheel, and they put out one good record.
Yeah, dude. I even was listening to fucking ABBA came on the other day. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
I sang Hanson to a man at work today.
Okay.
Like, I like weird shit.
Yeah, I'm it.
Yeah. Mbop is a slap. I got a freaking...
Is there any other songs by Hanson?
Yeah, there's like they still put out music. Like old Hanson's actually not bad, dude.
I didn't say they're bad. I'm just saying I only know the one song.
And they still got them sweet rollerblade moves.
Yep, Team Puppet Suds.
Oh, bro.
Tearing it up.
Come here often? Prove that you have pants on right now.
Don't.
Dude.
I see the look in his eyes. Like, that's a pantsless man.
I was about to say.
No, dude, my wife would kill me if I was on the couch with no pants on again.
Did you say again?
I podcast with no pants on Sunday.
Actually,
Lord's down, you pants.
that's true. He did just podcast on Sunday without pants on.
Eventually, I had to get me a drink of water, so
Eventually, it was the first thing you did.
I'm a thirsty boy.
Like, we're live. I'm gonna go get a drink of water.
Dave was like, I can't wait to spring this on him.
Cameo from my little penis.
It was almost as good as the Andre the Giant singlet.
Dude, I still can't get the smell of those socks. You gonna be okay, Alan?
We lost
Yeti down.
We lost our sound guy.
Yeti down.
Dave, go give him the Heimlich maneuver.
Not again, dude.
Well, while
I can't
while
afford
Alan
pink eye
recovers over there, I think it's a good time to hit ads before we forget again.
Oh yeah.
Alan,
Just
Go.
hey, when you were talking about Chad doing all the nose torque, I wonder if it was Zone smelling salts that he was using.
Could be.
They're pretty phenomenal.
I mean,
Some have said they work.
You gonna hit him?
Oh yeah, we do every.
yeah.
Every chance I get, I hit him.
I can't. So that's like kids, right? Just like I can't. That's one thing for training. I don't understand. I have this internal just like soundtrack of hate that I don't know what would happen if I just hit it with absurd amount of ammonia.
As one that also has an inner dialogue of hate, it does help.
Yeah, I would assume it just like it's like 2/3 of what would be the anti-Captain Planet. It's just, like ammonia. Like,
I never thought about what would be the anti-Captain Planet.
He's putting styrofoam cups in microwaves and turning them on.
yeah, just shooting out CFCs.
Oh yeah. Dave's first experience with these was a good one.
Can't see him.
Oh, I was
There
like,
you go.
oh yeah, I forgot. Willie is actually in your lap right now.
Oh hey Will.
Always.
Now it's a party.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But yeah, Zone smelling salts. They've got a bunch of different levels of intensity of salts. I suggest be a man, get the highest one. Don't waste your time with the others, even though they're good. One thing that's cool about Zone, especially the bear down ones, the steel ones, they put them in an urn,
Which
And,
not only is cool, it's also practical. Because I don't know how many times that I've hit them and I'm about to go get a lift and I need to immediately get rid of these in my hand. And so I'm not afraid of them just exploding on the floor.
yeah, they're in a metal.
Also, after you take a big hit of them, you got somewhere to put yourself when you're done.
Yeah, and they seal really well, so they last a long time.
Doctors describe it as knock your dick in the dirt strength.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There it is, girl. Come on.
Yeah.
Those are over a year old now, aren't they?
Yeah, these are a year old. Yeah.
You got to fight to put the cap back on. It doesn't want to go.
That's the worst.
Zone Smelling Salts, promo code TIPP, get a discount.
Have you had that? Like whenever you're about to do a lift for a competition, you hit them and you just can't get the lid on.
Yeah, you're like,
It's the worst.
I hate
My
these
favorite-
things.
Yeah, my favorite is the ones that, like the dudes that want to throw them, like Uncle Rico. And they're like, "Where'd my phone cells go?" Oh, dude, you just put it fucking 40 feet.
You just send it over that mountain over there.
It's like a goddamn grenade.
yeah, get in there.
Golly.
Kind of losing it a little bit.
Dude, that's the shit that killed Tupac. They found a jar of that beside Elvis's toilet.
If Elvis had hit that, he would have pulled through.
Yeah, I'll guarantee it.
I told my buddy that we were talking about that because I've been having stomach issues. I was like, if I go out like Elvis, dude, like you know, at the gym, you say if you die, put more plates on. I was like, if I die on the toilet, put like a cobra in there or something. Like when nobody knows how it got there, but it went straight to his bloodstream and got on the anus. Like I can't die from like shitting myself.
All I know is if I die or if I drop a bar on me or something, if whoever doesn't add more plates before they call 911, if I die, I'm haunting them until the day they
I'm
die.
removing the bar, taking the plates off, and putting 2 pink weights in your hands.
Honestly, I would expect that from you.
Sweatband.
I wouldn't haunt you for that.
I'm gonna go get the PVC pipe.
If you don't,
Teddy bears on the end of it.
if you don't dress me to look like what the real life,
We'll get through it.
no, I just forgot what your.
Podcasting's hard.
It'd be awesome. Just fuck with him and like throw a copy of Supple Leopard on his lap. Be like, I don't know what killed him, man.
Dick Slimmons, that's what I was trying to remember.
Supple leopard.
He's gonna have a DVD of all the greatest hits from Steven Seagal's
Okay, that's too
and his
far.
Mojo Priest record in the other hand.
That's too far, bro.
He calls himself the Mojo Priest. What a fool.
Spoiler, they're all diamonds in the rough.
They're definitely rough. Now, like, you don't even get out of his chair. His last, 12 movies, all the fight scenes are him in a chair, people running at him.
Yeah, he's like,
He's elite, bro. He's ascended to another level.
You see when he went to that? It wasn't Russia. I forget what country he went to. And he was with the dictator. And they were, giving him, carrots and melons. He's like, it's a good melon. He's, eating a carrot like a horse. And his hair is, uncomfortably black.
Yeah, just super slick, not losing one hair.
you can see the shoe shine line where
And he is chomping on that carrot.
He's using that paint. Have you seen that new black paint that Japan made that's absorbs 99% of light or something, and it almost looks like a cartoon? That's what he's using.
Obviously, somebody immediately took that carrot video and made a gif of him doing inappropriate things with the carrot because he took such a big bite. It wasn't very hard to do. And he runs like a girl.
Oh, I forgot we have more ads.
Yeah, we have plenty of ads.
NutraFit. Again, I keep forgetting to bring other stuff out here to show. So
That's not the only product that.
No,
Caleb
they have
has.
they have a
some
lot,
things.
and I have several. This one stays right here apparently. But Regenesis is great. Their pre-workout's great. Honestly, I've tried a lot of their stuff. I've not hated any of it. I've liked all of it. Even their non-stim pre-workout is great. I've been using it lately just to kind of back off a little bit. Pretty dang good. So that's the best review I know.
Yeah, really, as far as pre-workouts go, after Jack 3D, after they reformulated it, I haven't
Once they
liked
took the
it.
meth out.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
God forbid men have hobbies.
yeah, I know, but I do like NutraFit's pre-workouts.
Do they have fun names?
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
Good.
dude.
I prefer pre-workouts that the colors don't exist in the rainbow.
Yeah,
I swore I had them over here.
They're like
Hey,
Carnage and stuff like that.
hey, and they've got an NO2 supplement.
I thought I had it over here, but
Bloodlust pump caps.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a we were doing a USAWA competition, and this older lady was this older lady was asking. She was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, these are bloodlust pump calves." Like, I felt so weird telling this old lady the name of that. She was like, "Oh, and what do they do?" I mean, she was just so
They put lead in your pencil, lady.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Spoiler, she took 4. She's dead now.
Yeah. And then she asked us if we'd tried oregano.
Jesus Christ, lady. I had dare.
I signed a pledge.
Yeah. Jesus, it's a fucking gateway herb. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. I mean,
Between that line and Smokey the Bear, dude, I'll never get in any trouble, dude.
Yeah.
Putting out fires and staying away from drugs.
They got a nootropic now. I didn't know that.
did you ever? What was that?
I think it was a bat. Golly.
Is that a phoenix?
Was that a?
Dude. Whatever it is, Caleb, you need to claim as a dependent on your taxes.
Was that one of those?
Straight.
Was that one of those drones?
Yep.
Probably.
They finally found me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd know. You'd be dead.
They have triangulated my position.
Caleb, did you ever give him the promo code?
I didn't. We started talking about all their stuff before I got there. Anyways, that's code Caleb C Day. Also
good
for
podcast.
Zone, it is for Zone smelling salts. It's code TIPP. What else we got?
We've got Hossware.
I will say it's a sick shirt.
You have to stand up.
Oh man, oh yeah, because Willie's in my lap.
Willie's in your lap.
Sit in David's lap.
Do I stand up too?
It's okay. It's okay.
Go to your right. There you go.
Yeah.
I really had to resist the urge to cup check you just then. Like it was all I was like,
Oh man.
come on.
Yeah. So Hossware.com. They're cool dudes. Make a lot of cool stuff for strongman, Highland Games, all that gym stuff. Check their shirts out, hoodies, hats, all that. Code TIPP with them also. What? It keeps flying around here.
Yeah.
Getting attacked.
Also, you could buy a shirt from the Iron Palace. Those are cool too.
Yep. Go to Etsy, search Iron Palace Podcast. It's going to take you straight to our Etsy page. Also, all these are going to be linked in the bio. So if you don't want to remember all these codes or all this stuff, just check the bio. You can click a link or you can find it there. It's much easier that way if you ask me.
We don't have any of our own merch out here, do we?
Not at this
I
very
gotta stay
moment.
humble. I like it.
Man. See,
Normally-
Willie's average. He's representing Holiday Highlander right there.
Normally we have at least one, but yeah, we ain't got nothing today.
We got nothing, man.
I don't even wear my shirt the day of.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time I put this shirt on, just for subtle marketing employees.
I will say, low key though, like I don't know what it is, but I hate wearing game shirts at the games.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Yeah.
I get that. I won't wear an artist shirt to their concert. I'll wear another artist shirt
Yeah,
to
like
their
I
concert.
go to the
That'll teach-
Yeah.
I think Clint's meet was probably the first time I've ever wore a competition shirt at the competition I got it from, and that's only because he wanted us to.
Oh, he insists that you do.
Yeah, but like
There's a few games that kind of require you to.
Yeah.
I've not been to those, but every
That's
Highland
right.
game they give them to me, and I put it right in the box, and I usually forget it there for a couple of weeks, and then eventually I bring it in, and it becomes in my shirt rotation. But
There's people that Howland games that make you wear their shirts. Really, we're getting a little. To me, that's a little bit much. Like one, technically, I paid for that shirt, so I'll do what I want with it. Like you're not giving me the shirt. I paid an
Fair
entry fee.
Yeah.
fair enough.
But yeah, like I know Masters Worlds, like we had a weird fabric-y shirt that just only highlighted like how erect your nipples could get.
As any good shirt does.
I couldn't
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
mine. It came above my belly button.
Yeah.
It
Which was
super
great. What did it say on the back?
tight. My last name.
What did it say, Alan?
Fag.
Let's say, hey, we got Trump in office. You can say that on the podcast again, dog.
Yeah.
I wish they would have. Whenever they made your shirt, I so wish they would have put a number on it, and I really wish that number was 69
Yeah.
Or number one.
or number 1. But also, when did that become a thing that for like competitions you get a free shirt?
I mean, like for the Highland games, it's always been a thing. That as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, like if you went powerlifting, like you had to buy the shirt. Like no one, like they don't give a shit.
We've talked about that. It's like all sports, strongman, Highland Games, pretty much every sport is like, oh, if you come compete, you're going to walk away with some form of free stuff, whether it's just a T-shirt or whatever. But like powerlifting is the opposite. You're going to pay
nothing.
You're going to pay a lot of money to be there, and you're probably going to get nothing.
Yeah, may get a little medal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Herniated disc.
I'm not complaining.
Nothing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you get no swag in powerlifting.
No. But you do gain a lot of confidence after you smash some PRs, especially if you're using one of our products.
Boom.
Hey,
Don't try to out podcast Holland. Let's taste this.
I thought it was a pretty good effort.
Don't take that shit, Holland. Try to steal your shine, dog. But old Icarus flew too close to the sun now, didn't you?
Uh-oh.
I can't stand you.
Go to them narrow wings.
Buddy, you wait till this 16-week bodybuilding cycle's up, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
be
well,
over.
I'm gonna start bulking.
Willie, Caleb and I are starting a bodybuilding cycle, and
Thanks, dude.
we're gonna have we've got two bodybuilders that are gonna judge us at the end of it.
Okay.
And we're gonna have to go full spray tan, posing
Yeah,
trunks. And
that was their stipulations for them doing it. Was we have to be full trunks, tanned, and old. And I was like,
And shaved.
odd request, but okay,
oh man, yeah, it's
it's going to be something.
Yeah.
I think me and Holland are going to get real close.
Yeah.
Have you started your diets yet?
Roughly.
It'll get there. Dude, that's the easy part. I wouldn't even stress that. That pretty much takes care of itself.
Yeah, it'll sort itself out.
Yeah.
The diet?
Yeah, you got that. Lifting's hard.
It's all in your
That's-
head, bro.
So the lifting
Yeah.
is easy for me. Also, I will say, I had to text him last night because he sent me the program. Yesterday was my first bodybuilding workout, and I totally read it wrong. Holland was there for the first little bit, and I read it as 6 to 8 sets of 10 to 12 on bench press. And I was like, I'm going to die right here today. And I've got, I think there was 8 or 9 exercises total. I was like, this is so many.
Yeah, you have 2 pecs.
Yeah, I was like, they're gone. Like, I'm over. It's done. I'm dying today. I'm not even going to get through half of these. And then after, like, I got halfway through, and I texted him saying, because I'd got to one that just seemed way unfathomable.
you're texting like, why do you hate me?
It said, so on the paper it said 10 to 15 / 20 plus. And I went, oh my God. So I texted him, I said, am I reading this right? And he said, I said, does this mean 10 to 15 sets of 20 plus on lateral raises? And he goes, oh, no. So that's one set of 10 to 15, then one set of 20 plus. I was like, oh, I did bench press way wrong. He's like, oh, no, that was supposed to be heavy, so you're only doing 2 sets, but it's like 6 to 8, and then what? I was like, oh, whoops. So my volume's done for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't even stress it after that. Yeah.
But either way, yeah.
I would just, honestly, what I would do is I wouldn't do anything and then just pull the old flex wheeler and just be like, dude, I got attacked by ninjas. I couldn't do anything.
I love it.
You don't mess with perfection anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Maybe.
See after this cut.
Yeah, especially.
I've never seen a body more built than
It's almost unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not almost. It is 100% unfair.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen at the end of this, he's going to look better than me and lift heavier than me, and it's going to be terrible. I will win, and I will lose in all forms of
Let's
it.
quit objectifying him, though. He's more than a pretty smile and a fat ass. He's got dreams. He's got hopes. He brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
I would just come in more tan. That's what I would shoot for.
Just
this
come in
morning.
more tan.
We should
Just
do
come
it
in
full
more
Miss
tan.
America, too. Like, you guys got to answer questions about world peace and shit.
This is why I've decided you're not going to. Originally, we're going to have our 2 bodybuilding friends and then Dave as our judges. And the more Dave talks about it, I am removing him from the judging panel.
I'm an ideas guy.
We know.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a interesting
Talent segment was going to go wild.
Yep.
Holland's a hell of a tap dancer.
You do like the old the fitness girls where there's like an acrobatic section.
Floor exercise.
Everybody's got to show off a talent.
Well, you were
Yeah.
talking about doing a backflip, you know.
Yeah, there it is.
Dude,
That's-
I've talked to one of my friends that he coaches cheerleading and gymnastics. I've talked to him in depth about it. Like, you think I could do one? He goes, I mean, yeah, you've got the strength. That, in theory, as long as you know how to do it. I was like, you will teach me?
All can do the Cirque du Soleil thing where they like swing from the fabrics.
Yeah.
And he is graceful, but he's a swan in the air.
Better believe it.
It's like a sexy harpy eagle.
Oh, bro. He looks like a cherub when he does it. It's beautiful.
That's like there's I don't remember which Highland game it was, but Mandy Hart had just turned a 12 o'clock caber and did a cartwheel to celebrate, and I don't even remember what I guess we were throwing wob or something. And I just, whatever height it was that I cleared it, and I was like, woo! and did the best, like, version of a cartwheel that I could do. And Mandy was like, nice try.
Thanks.
The haters were sick.
Fucking hater.
Worked all year to peak at this moment.
Yeah.
Like Creed on The Office, just want to do the perfect cartwheel. Did it?
He did the world's worst cartwheel, and he goes, I've done it. That's it.
I don't-
Saying yours was not, yeah, I'm sure yours was perfect.
It was.
Way better than Creed's.
Yeah.
Probably had a lot of torque.
Not quite as good as Mandy's, but, you know.
Don't you dare.
A lot of torque.
It was a real torquey cartwheel. Yeah. A lot of bottom end on that
Got
cartwheel.
a lot of low end on it.
Low end torque on that cartwheel.
That cartwheel will tow anything.
It was low end torque, then it was high end torque, then it was low end torque.
If you get stuck in a ditch, that's all Holland's got to do.
Cartwheel. I'd be like, hey, I got this. Hold on.
That's how you assist him. You
Back
grab
that
his
four-wheel
torquing
drive
handle.
up. I got it.
Yeah, you grab his torquing handle and he just cartwheels around it.
Working handle.
One heck of an Indian burn when he's done though.
On you, not him.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse Indian burn.
It feels like shark skin.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Willie, thanks for coming
You
out.
could skateboard on that thing with grip tape. It's
Thanks for putting up with Dave.
No way, Dave's a good time, man. I do the hell out of this.
But yeah, we appreciate it, dude. It's been a great. Are you going to be at the Arnold by chance?
No. I think that the Arnold, short answer is no. I was going to come up with this like elaborate excuse. I don't got one.
we'll put it in post.
Get a haircut.
Yeah, but I will tell you, if you want to hear it, you probably don't, but I'm going to go ahead and go since we're live.
Well, yeah.
I went to the Arnold one year and with my buddy when I was working up at James Madison, and I met Kloklaev, and he's like he's like big, he's like just sweating, he's in like the Russian tracksuit, like he's just getting ready to go kill people, and he's like bleeding profusely out of his hands, like he tore like every callus in his hand off. And I'm like, hey man, what's up? He's like, he grabs my hand and shakes it, and there's just his blood all over my hand. I was like, hey buddy, I think you're bleeding. He's like, it's Russian, it'll make you stronger. Goddamn right.
Checks out.
Yeah.
You rode a bear home.
Yeah.
Hit a PR in the car on the drive home.
Yeah. Like every day since then, just PR life.
How do you PR after that? I mean, it's like,
how do you beat that story?
yeah.
It's just like, I got introduced to him because my buddy knew Mike Israetel. Mike Israetel was like doing they were doing jiu-jitsu, they were doing some wacky shit or whatever, but I just happened to meet the guy. I was like, holy shit. Like, it's like there's certain things that in my head, like I have to, like if I get the opportunity, like I'm gonna do, like instantly at OSG one year, Mark Felix was there. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna put my hand up against his. Like, I don't know why. One, he didn't think it was cool. Turns out that weirds people out. But his hand was so goddamn big. It was like a catcher's mitt with a bushel of bananas attached to it. Like it was like around my hand.
I bet your hand never felt safer.
Yeah, and the amount of just him being so large and being so uncomfortable was like blowing me.
You should have poked his belly button with your other hand.
Yeah. And we're best friends now.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Well, our fingers are interlocked, so I think we are.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Is this second base?
Is that what this feels like? I think I know what love feels like now.
Yeah.
Title of this episode: Willie Danzer gets the second base with Martin Felix.
That actually is going to be it.
Will you continue holding my hand while I call my dad?
Yeah, and I refuse to believe that only one of us had an erection.
While you're holding it, call your mom. I guess while I'm getting married.
Yeah. My last name is now Felix.
I do find it weird that he thought that was uncomfortable because,
Yeah,
I mean,
I assume that's what everyone did to him.
because, I mean, I'm 6'6". I don't think my hands are like that much bigger, but people often ask me to do that, and maybe it's just it's happened so many times I don't find it weird, but
And you would think with him that would be
Exactly.
something because he's known for
yeah.
yeah.
So I would imagine that he should be. Maybe I don't
Maybe it
know.
was the approach. How did you?
Oh, that's a great question. As we've learned, you're really good at opening these
Snuck up from behind
conversations.
and just
Oh, easy. Hey man, I'm gonna put my hand up against yours. Yeah, that was it.
What's wrong?
No,
with
hey,
that?
how are you?
I would have been like high five and then just not let him back out of it.
Yeah.
Just followed it.
High five and catch him.
I had to pull that. I pulled that one time with like Ronnie Coleman. I met Ronnie Coleman one time, and he's like, his hands are also fucking. Maybe my hands are tiny. Actually, now that I think about it,
We're unpacking some things here.
Yeah. But yeah, I met him, and he's like, we do the Predator like this, and I was like, hey man, I was like, just as a quick reference, like, how hard are you gonna flex? So I know how hard I have to flex. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to go very hard. I'm like, I'm fucking sending it.
Now's my chance.
Yeah, and Ronnie Coleman looks good, and I look like a fucking bag of mashed potatoes.
I'm going to bust a blood vessel.
That's like Nathan Holland's nephew. He's like that all the time. Like, I've never seen him not shake someone's hand at 100%.
Oh yeah.
Like, he'll shake my hand, and I can tell he's squeezing. Then he'll shake my wife's hand, and she's like, oh. I was like, you didn't even like meter that for a woman? Like,
He's full send all the
Yep.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't got no wastegate, dog.
I dead fish everybody. Fuck it. Like,
I want you to underestimate me.
You're driving this handshake. If it sucks, it's on you, dog.
It's like, nice to meet you.
like at this point, my body is just like, I just run like a washing machine. I'm just an economic model. So it's like, I'm going to save energy.
Like a lady that needs help out of a carriage.
Just start curtsying on everybody. Just
Well, I shook. Well, the first time I met Adrian, like I shook her hand, and she almost broke my goddamn hand. She's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, she's like the first woman that closed the captain's. No shit, man. Let's pump the brakes.
I believe you.
yeah. Does this look like a captain's a crush? No.
Yeah. These are dainty, apparently. It's not like something to realize.
Easy, lady. It's how I makes my livings.
That's old righty. You don't do that.
Alrighty.
Yeah, dude. You've been through some shit.
Yeah, keep that up. You're getting the old Missouri soup bone.
You know the mileage this thing has on it? It's already due for the shop. Like, you can't be treating it like that. You can't take it off-roading.
Yeah, you don't look, this body's a temple. We don't need to go ahead and treat it like a truck.
This thing's built for the drag strip, all right?
I'm still laughing at the Missouri soup bone.
But yeah, so it turns out I got tiny hands, I guess is where I'm at. But if you ever want, if we ever do this again, I'll tell you the time I thought Chad was gonna die when we were tipping up a caber.
Okay.
Well, you're
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
going to have to
dude,
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing but stories that don't involve me. Like, those suck. Like, oh, you want to hear about that time I benched 2 1/4 for 3 in a row?
In a row.
No big deal, my man.
Not trying to brag, but them's the facts.
Yeah, it turns out if I'm almost top 3 strongest in my family still.
And they say only like 3% of men can bench press 225, and I did it for 3 consecutively.
I bet I can whoop your
big
sister's
deal.
ass.
So what? I had to have wrist straps and a slingshot.
There was no video, so you don't know what happened.
Those were tears of joy.
It was reverse banded.
It was future method. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
I grinded it out.
One day I won't need a slingshot.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see.
Then you'll all be laughing.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah. I'm the best. I am the best at lowering heavy weights. I can bring that thing down. Pressing just a little tricky.
Put it right to the chest.
Yeah. That elevator only goes down, guys. I tell you that.
That was like my
in for a
500
sweet
squat
caress.
this week. It was
Yeah.
like it went down so well.
It looked good until it
The coming back up part.
Yeah, that's a hiccup with all the lifts.
That's the part that gets you. They don't tell you that.
Yeah.
They won't. They say that's the part that builds the most muscle is the down portion. I was only working on that.
Yeah.
No, the
Oh,
Instagram
essentially
says
The
after.
eccentric part.
Yeah, I was hitting eccentrics that day. That's what I was doing, Alan. I know you were actually there to squat. I was just doing eccentrics.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, any asshole can bring it up. It takes real talent to lower it.
Yeah. Did you see how graceful I set that down? I even caught the rack so it didn't smack me in the forehead.
And bringing it down and making it look like you're still going to bring it up, and that's the
Yeah.
real talent right there.
Some say.
Yeah, coming up with a convincing reason to get out and be like, oh, yeah, they still could have got that. Nah, that's
Yeah.
the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, sell
you
it.
have it? Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
never left my
People,
feet up.
that's my favorite part. Like people now be like, "Oh man, like how hard you gonna go?" Like, dude, I promise you,
I'm hard right now.
Yeah. You don't fail in the gym. What the fuck for? Like,
I disappoint enough people. Why do I want to disappoint
Yeah.
myself?
Yeah, I watched one video where a guy explained going to failure makes no sense, and that was all I needed.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
that guy was Jesus. I tend to listen.
I tend to listen.
You can listen too if you just be quiet and let him in your heart.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to end it.
Yeah.
But thanks again for coming out. We're definitely going to have you back on because now I want to hear about
Who
this
came out?
chatting
Oh,
capers. So,
there he is. Hey, you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
all right. So thanks again. Everybody, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see Willie again, let's hear it.
I assume not.
You got to stop saying it if you want to see Willie again, dude.
No, I said it on purpose. All right,
Let
Alan,
him stand up.
hit it.